Welcome in everyone to a very special rendition of a live stream. It's been a very long time since I've actually gone live and been able to tap in and talk with you all. There's been a lot of things that I have been doing in the works. Some I'm going to be talking about today. Tap in and talk. Some I'm going to be announcing for the first time today. But regardless, we're going to be in for a pretty good time in terms of just what we're going to be getting into. Right? I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. Make sure you leave a like button, subscribe if you haven't, because I am planning on also going live for each and every lunar. But being it as somebody who has been doing this since 2018. 2017, I've seen a lot doing this since 20. What astrology is in the world, and I've seen a lot of what it means to different people, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything to some people, right? But I don't think that my love or my different people, and sometimes my personal relationship to, but I don't think that with the stars had anything to do with my personal relationship to applause, right? With the stars. One thing that I really want to point out about this current new moon in Leo is that this is very much the time frame that has a lot to do with what do you do if no one's there. This is very much the time. How do you express your heart? That has a lot to do if there's nobody there to give you a certain amount of feedback. I think a lot of the time, it's something I've been working on healing myself. Nobody there to throughout my Saturn return was really trying to figure out. I think a lot of the time, something I've been working on healing myself. Nobody there to throughout my Saturn return was really trying to figure out. I think a lot. Okay. So what I did should technically have just fixed the sound. If it's still messed up, say la vie, and we will try again one more time. Actually, I might do a refresh anyway. How does that coming through? Can somebody end up putting in the chat how it ends up sounding right now? Actually, I think I could look and check it myself. Oh, yep, it's all just me. All right, so what I'm gonna do. Oh, we're good. All right, cool. I'm gonna just keep it here. Screw it. We're going real live. We're going back to the old days, right? And I think one of the things that I was trying to talk about a second ago before things got mixed up is that there's things that people do because they get credit and credential and love and accolade for, and then there's things that you do where you're specifically doing it because you care about it, because you love it. And to be so honest with you, in my Saturn return, I've been having to really learn the difference between what is it that I'm good at that will pay me, and what is it that I love that I want to create. And to be fair, part of why I've been in such an impetus of this has been like, this has been happening for me real time. And one thing that I really did do my best, especially on my YouTube, was to refuse to do was to come on here and be inauthentic, to be like not real about where I'm at or what's going on. Honestly, my YouTube has been very much a diary and a journal live for everyone else to kind of watch me interfere, just like watch me be into astrology, the times I pick up tarot, the times I don't pick up tarot, the times where I'm just creating, the times where you might only see me on Instagram, the time where I'm only making memes, the time when I'm like, there's a lot of different renditions and versions and iterations that you've even met of Chad the Maverick throughout time, right? And I think that there was a certain point at the beginning of my Saturn return where I kind of started to look at, see and realize that I've met so many different people from so many different walks of my own life, so many different parts of my own life, that people started to kind of almost seem like they didn't understand me, right? They didn't understand the core part of how I was coming, the core part of who I am, right? I'm a very kind person, but I don't take no BS. I'm a very giving person, but I'm not a schmuck. So there's these conversations to where I had to kind of sit down and really see and cater to the difference. Because one thing about my position in terms of what I do, right, for people who are not aware of who I am or what's going on, let me just give you a quick little brief and hopefully get you up to date as soon as possible, right? My name is Chad the Maverick, aka Maverick. I have been doing this since, again, 2017, 2018, when I first started this officially, professionally, right? I made my own website. I coded my first website that I had out. I was the first astrologer that I knew who even had a website, right? But regardless, I came up, posting on Twitter, posting on YouTube, videos I didn't even know what was going on, posting them from my hometown, not knowing where it's going to hit, where it's going to land. Some odd years later, I'm in Los Angeles having readings and conversations with people about very multiple comma situations happening, and they're asking me for my take on things and what I'm seeing and it starts and stuff like that. So to kind of give you just an example is like, I've seen a lot of what astrology can do for people when they allow it, right? And one thing that I really started to struggle with was seeing how, despite how good I got, despite how intelligent I was able to come across, despite my thousands upon thousands of readings that I've done throughout this time frame, people still, regardless, will stop, look at me, and before they see an astrologer, before they see a creative, before they see a lover, a human, a person, or whatever, they just know what I look like, right? They just know the history that they've been taught. Recently, there was a situation that happened. There's a situation that occurred. The fullness of this, look up Stephen Forrest. And for this, the point I'm trying to make has less to do about the person and a lot more to do about what has come up with this conversation that happened, right? And ironically, I've only seen one black astrologer be able to talk about it that got airtime. Not to say that other people haven't, that got airtime, right? But I've seen more apology videos about a white astrologer saying something about the N-word instead of people seeing the bias within themselves, instead of people trying to promote other people who also do this work, regardless of their color and creed, right? There's a very big race problem that still comes with astrology, that still comes with spirituality, right? And for people who are from these cultures and backgrounds where astrology, spirituality, medicine is indigenous to them, it is a part of their culture, it's a part of everything that they come from. Yet there are so many people who are trying to continuously copy, water down, corporate ties, these very strong and powerful principles that like live within us, right? One of the biggest plights about this whole shift between the North Node going into Aquarius and the South Node going into Leo has a lot to do with the heart versus the mind. It has a lot to do with the concept of a human being sitting down for 100 hours to write down their magnum opus versus some kid or some grown adult, mind you, who will open up ChatGPT, put something in, and have the same amount of words be done in the same amount of time. And the thing is that we're at this really weird part with the North Node being in this Aquarius space to where, as we've entered into this space, the people who are the fastest, the speed, the innovation, these are the people that are getting rewarded. This is like the people that have been working for things for years and years and years. If you don't put things out in the algorithm, quote unquote, the right way, if you're not appeasing to the North Node and Aquarius, if you're not appeasing into the BS, right, your true work of heart gets lost. And part of why I wasn't posting for a long time was because I was like, first of all, I was busy. Not gonna lie to you. I was actually very busy. I was doing a lot of things. But the real part to it was like, it felt like a weird in between of trying to get everything done first, right? So many takes from different astrologers. I never wanted to hear anyone else's take. I only wanted to deliver one that came from my own. And it just, there's been so much information. And I feel like this is happening in multiple industries and multiple places for creatives all over, right? There's people who are having to go back to their corporate job and work after trying out some creative stuff, right? There are people who are just down bad and struggling, trying to make ends meet. You know, there are people who are up right now and they got real quiet about how well they've been doing. You know what I mean? But I think one of the main things that I really want to break down and get to the heart of, so to speak, is that like there really is this in between of like, where does your information get sourced from, right? Recently, a AI company called Midjourney bought CoStar. Now, CoStar and I got beef. I have a hella history with a lot of stuff. And I might as well start with this, right? So back in the day, I'm gonna try to find a tweet actually. I had a tweet go viral. This is way back in the day. I don't know if I still have my Twitter even active right now. Regardless, I had a tweet back in the day that went viral. Mind you, this is back in like, I was on Black Astro Twitter. And before I was on Black Astro Twitter, I was on Astro Tumblr. I have been in this forever. Reason why I'm explaining this though is because like, I remember one day I'm sitting down, I'm trying to get creative. I'm just starting off in the astrology world. Maybe it's like my first year, maybe 2 years of doing this work, right? And I remember I was like, you want to know what? I'm really going to sit here. And I sat for like, I want to say like maybe a week, 3 days to a week maximum. And I'm literally hitting up so many people on like the comments, the likes, the everything. And I'm asking everybody, what's your sign? What house of Hogwarts do you think you belong to? Why? And I'll do this whole extensive report. I'm typing everything out. I have everything done. And I put it out, and it went relatively viral. Correction. At the time, it went pretty viral, right? Before this other thing. At the time, it went very viral. And the next day, maybe 2 days later, CoStar on Twitter took my account. My other thing, or they took, not my account, they took my idea. And they just literally basically copy and paste the same idea and put it out to everybody else. What? Why was they able to do that though? Because I'm just a guy. I was just a guy. There's an idea. Let's just use the idea. Let's keep it going, right? So there was a time frame too. Mind you, I'm not trying to bash CoStar, but I do have opinions, right? When I meet people all the time, everyone's like, oh, you're an astrologer? What do you think about CoStar? I'm like, well, let me tell you what I think about CoStar. There was a time frame in my life where I was in between I need to get a job and I need to work my passion. And I remember even applying to CoStar. This is a long time ago. And as I applied to CoStar, I remember they were like, oh, we're looking for astrologers. We're looking for people. We're looking for people to come through. I was like, all right, cool. And then when I get to the rounds of interviews, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We're not actually looking for astrologers. We're looking for engineers. I was like, engineers? I was like, what you mean? They're like, no. We need an astro census. Facts. I've been doing this. That's how I got into astrology in the first place. I literally asked every single person around me. Why? Because I care about the people behind these things, and these other corporations and other stuff that are happening don't care about you. And I mean this in sincerity. And I love y'all. I really love y'all. You know when I'm saying this for no reason. But I'm looking at this, right? And CoStar took my content. So I was like, F CoStar, whatever. I got over it. Don't get me wrong. But it's only interesting because it's coming up again, right? So then, as this gets bought, one thing that really points out about this, and my background in business helps with this as well, but the reason why I'm explaining this is because when they bought CoStar, they weren't buying it for the concept of astrology specifically. What they were buying was your taste, your aesthetic, your style, your birthday, your like where you're from. What kind of things are you into? What kind of things are you going to be susceptible to be marketed to later on? Well, now that we know, because although you and your friends may not believe in astrology, these marketers do, right? Like, as well as you might not believe in that, but like, you know, next thing you know, you're Aries. They know you're Aries, and you're getting all this stuff for how to dress like a badass, and you're like, oh, shit, wow. Oh, guess the phone's really listening. No, Mid-Journey gave all the stuff over, right? Now, there has been another app that has popped up. And in their app, the biggest thing that I've noticed was that it is a FAI trend while they're using AI copy. So at the same time, the usage whenever someone says they're anti anything, I want to point something out to y'all. This is something I think about a lot. Whenever someone says they're anti anything, the algorithm doesn't get that part. All the algorithm voodoo stuff that you be hearing about, the algorithm only hears whatever the topic is. So when you see someone say, hey, FAI, that doesn't get picked up. Only the AI part gets picked up. So their information gets higher up in the algorithm. I'll let you keep that in mind for whatever you want to feel. Now, on the other side of this, again, I mentioned it briefly, there was a racist situation that happened. Right? Or correction. Someone was trying to use the N-word in a historical context and I went to private school. I sat through Huckleberry Finn. I know how this goes. I lived this my entire every day. I know how this type of thing works. And the first thing that I saw were people trying to swarm over, being like, oh, he's a product of his time. And to be so fair, that he is a product of his time, because the product of his time is right now. This is the time that everyone knows about it. This is the moment when all these things are happening. Oh, it's a product of his time. This is happening right now. These things don't change up. And despite intention, despite anything else, I do believe that there's this like, oh, just let them go. Let them do their thing. And the reason why I know this isn't an older thing, recently, this isn't at him, this is just in general. Recently, there was another incident that happened with not an astrologer, with a I apologize, the Oscars. Regardless of the specific award right now, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage getting recognized for their work in the beautiful, beautiful cinematic masterpiece that is Sinners, right? And in the process of this even happening, they get chirped at the N-word. They get chirped at the N-word by someone that had Tourette's. I've worked with people that have special needs my entire life. My little brother's autistic. I was taking care of him since I was 3-4 years old. I've sat in a bunch of Special Olympics things. I was an athlete, a volunteer. Like, I've worked with people with special needs. I was a tutor. There's a lot of things that I've done. And at no point in any of that juncture has any person ever, no matter what tick they had, stopped and said something that wasn't in them already. And I want to point this out as a concept, because with this North Node shift into Aquarius, one of the things that happens is that it's now human versus robot, or AI is the big bad guy for all the humanity. Meanwhile, the South Node in Leo, the same BS that's happening that is regarding to race relations, and the reason why we're in these systemic issues in the first place are because of the same things that we now are trying to give over to these bots, right? So one thing that I saw specifically that really pissed me off is that they're like, hey guys, like, you know, FAI, but like, okay, so black and brown labor that you're underpaying for is completely okay though. I know how this shit go, right? And the reason why I'm even pointing this out is not to bash anything, it's not to whatever, but it's like, it's been on my heart. It's been on my heart. It's been things that I've been thinking about, because I'm like, I don't want to give people things that are not coming from a real space. I don't want to give people any BS. I genuinely came into this thing like being like, who can I be that I needed when I was coming up, right? And I lost sight of that. And I genuinely lost sight of that. In terms of trying to climb the ladder. Oh, I'm working with astrology.com here. Oh, working with Deborah Silverman over here. Oh, working with, you know, all these other people that I could never imagine from my home spot. And I really forgot about the kid sitting in his room in his hometown trying to figure out if he would ever amount to anything, and trying to look through a book, trying to figure that out. And not having the information, and not having the resource, and not knowing who to call, or not knowing where to talk to about something that's going to make sense of this, right? All this to say, I want to talk about the main genuine project that I have been working on. And all of these events are weirdly coinciding in a way that, like, I always had the theory that if you don't like something, become the solution. If there's something that bothers you, do something about it. Be something that makes a change, that makes a shift. So I would be remiss if I wasn't able to at least show y'all the sneak peek of the beta of my actual website / my baby, honestly, that I've been working on over the past bit, which is called Asteria. So let's just take a quick little look. As you can see, solar eclipse, an accelerated turning point. Eclipse move things faster. Let's just click it. Let's see what's going on, right? And so mind you, all of these things have already happened, but we have a transit calendar here to show you all of the things. Mind you, this is basically going to be the spot where you can go find your birth chart. Literally, like, we have, what do we have? Natal chart, sky now, transit calendar, widgets. This works on your phone. This also works on mobile. That's what I said twice, but regardless, you're able to access it on both, especially for my international folk, because I do know that there's some of y'all who are out there doing that. But let's just look at a chart as an example. This right here is Beyonce Knowles' chart. And if you don't know Beyonce, I don't know what else to tell you. Regardless, the way that this ends up like working out is that you get to see the chart. And we also have tweaks here. So for example, if you don't like the regular color, you know, it's just a little cliche. We've seen this before. Oh, what's this? Oh, we got a black and red rendition. Oh, we got all types of stuff. Boom. We got the lazuli. And mind you, you want to know something? You click on it. Oh, we have more information. As a matter of fact, you need more information. I don't know what a sun in Virgo does. Oh, now we're in the glossary. So literally basically the easiest way for me to explain what this is all about for me personally was I made something in frustration of not just the industry, but of just people like myself not having something to say that we have and that we made and that we own and that we have, and like they're like pushing something forward. So I spent and was quiet over the last few months to take everything that I've worked on and give people. I wanted to write a book. This is how this started. I genuinely wanted to write a book. And then I realized I'm like, to be so honest with myself, although I am a very well-read person, I haven't been drawn to get books for information like I used to. Books feel more like an escape nowadays, whereas I feel like having something in your hand that also tells you how your day is going to go. Let me pull something else up. 1 second. Because this is my favorite part about this, really. Because it doesn't matter how much astrology you know or don't know, what this app is going to let you know what's going on. And for those who are advanced, you're going to have a field day at all the stuff that used to take you forever to have to find or looking at other things for. So let me open this up one more time just to give y'all an example. So this is Beyonce right now. Beyonce right now is having a pretty decent and workable day. Why? Because we have a meter here to let you know. So one day you might open this up like, I'm having a bad day. And it's on 10. You're like, okay, no, this makes more sense, right? Her ninth house year, she has aged ninth house year. Beyonce doesn't age. She's Beyonce. But y'all get the point. Regardless, this has been the baby I have been working on. I've given out the private beta test to people already. Gotten some amazing feedback there as well. And I'm just really ready to create. I think with the South Node in Leo and the New Moon in Leo. And why am I talking about myself? New Moon in Leo, solar eclipse. This is what this is about conceptually. And I'm doing this to show you that, like, it's okay to feel things. And I think with my position on stuff, I'm definitely more of the, yo, I want to hop up and get the job done. I'm as much of a let's get this hustle in as much as I am a dreamer. But I feel like in that regard and in that realm, I've only been working. I don't know the last time I did like a photo shoot with friends just to enjoy myself, right? I don't remember the last time I did like a live stream just to kick it and chop it up with y'all, right? Y'all have been so paramount to the man that I'm allowing myself to become through my chart, through experiences, and through my heart best that I can. And some people find it inspiring, and I appreciate the love in the comments, and I appreciate y'all who are watching after this as well. But one of the things that's really important about this new moon in Leo is like, remember your heart. Remember what got you there. Remember what made you want to do the things that you do in the first place. Because the kicker is, you know, the world is cooked. Things are not going well. Even if you hopped up at the beginning of this very live stream, things were not working when I first opened it up, right? And I'm a little bit late trying to configure stuff like that. But you want to know what? That's part of life. That's how things happen, right? North Node in Aquarius, there's going to be a solution to any problem that you really think of. Like, that's just how I go. There's going to be a solution. You might not like the route to getting to that solution, but there's going to be a solution. That's the North Node in Aquarius, where the South Node in Leo is like, hey, we got to keep tradition. We got to keep what made us love in the first place. I think one of the biggest things that's really kind of highlighting for me as I explain it, growing up specifically, I was around very like religious folk, right? Like it was a very like religious type of background, undertone to the things that people happen. Even morality was spoken on in a principle that had to do with like good, bad, heaven, hell, etc. And I think that like the South Node wants people Working through the glitches builds character. That's what I do. And I appreciate you for mentioning that. Because I think if there's anything that, as an astrologer, I've tried to tell people is I'm like, yo, the world be glitching sometimes, right? Sometimes things are in your favor. Sometimes things be glitching. But it's not about is it going to glitch? Is it going to whatever? Is something going to go wrong? Yes, something is not going to work out. Right, this is from immutable signs. So fixed signs, I'm sorry for scaring you right now, but for like this is like things are not going to work out, especially the way that you anticipate. You get what I'm saying? I got but there's a beauty behind that. There's a beauty behind that, and I think some people, my colleagues, the ones that I do love and enjoy and care for, they all have they're not like. I feel like all of my closest colleagues that are astrologers or do this kind of work in general, they're real people first. Like they want to go on a date with somebody. They want to go get some food. Like they're not in this very weird, isolated, spiritual mumbo jumbo where they're like, and then we sat in Visassana for 35 minutes and I feel like a brand new person. Of course you feel like a brand new person. You just bought yourself a $3,000 something that's on your way to your house. Of course you feel brand new. Why I'm saying this in terms of like, where this is coming from. And also, I'm in a situation of coming up from not much and then seeing things that are like way above in terms of price or range. And it's a splitting feeling a lot of the times because I feel like there's so much room for you. Like there's so much room for you. And when the spaces where you're not allowed to take up room, that's usually where you have to like come through the most. And thank you, Tab, for real. But like, we are still human, and that is something I forgot about. And the part of the reason why I wanted to talk about the beginning of this thing with the race situation that went on with the Stephen Forrest conversation was because when I was a kid, my mom made it imperative that I watched everything terrible that had ever happened to my people before I was like 4 years old. And as much as I'm like, yo, that's crazy, it made me and gave me such an understanding that like humanity is kind of cruel. Humanity has a cruel streak, but humanity's cruel streak only exists when there's a sense of them needing to be better or wanting to be better than something else. Whereas I feel like the people that are greatest want more people to be great. They want the room. They want people to be shoulder to shoulder with, right? I really hope for this new moon in Leo, as I'm also explaining and doing this real time with you all, right? I really hope that this opens up y'all heart on the quietest summer day in terms of how this new moon is working, because I think there's a lot of heart to show in a technological and cold world. And I think that one of the most interesting parts, even when it comes to AI, as a conversation, is that all the tech people who are primarily in charge of all the coding and text-wise, and now granted, the reason why I'm talking about this is because like I can understand where all of it comes from, right? Like, one of the biggest things that I keep seeing with it is that people they're losing their jobs to it. They're losing their minds to what's going on with it. But it's people that are doing the stuff that you hate. You know what I mean? End of the day, humans are the monsters. And we're also the angels. And we're also the fairies. And that, and this and that, right? And because that's the case, as much as it's the case that like, yo, you're just a person, live your life, I think that people lost sight of what it means to be the main character of their own story. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to take up space at every given point of every single day. But when the priority is lost upon doing your best to be your best version of yourself, which is what I think astrology and spirituality done right forces you to do, right? It makes you have to be like, oh, shoot, I am kind of like that. Or like, oh, well, like I used to be this way. Maybe I'm working on this, or maybe I still need to work on that, right? And I could tell you that, like, if we take away all of this, if we take away the money, the power, the the fame, the astrology, the this, the anything, right? At the end of the day, everybody just wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be felt. And everyone wants to feel like they got a place to go. And for people who really don't got a place to go and really don't got a place to start, the best place to look is up. So you look up, it's under the stars we wander. Because we're all just people under the stars doing our best to figure it out. And yeah, that's my transmission. I don't really know what else to say in terms of the initial part to that. I talked about a lot of things. I ended up showing you my app a little bit. I'm going to be, I'm putting it out pretty much this month, next month. I've been working on this for a long time. So appreciate you all for the hype early on. Yeah, it's been surreal. It's been genuinely surreal. Am I the type of person to make an entire app before I fix my own website? Yes. But I'm still like very excited for this. So thank you all for being here. Shout out Joyous. Shout out Beascape. Tab, of course. Shout out Michelle Ellen. What's good? Yeah, I took out the main today specifically. That's also why I was late. I was trying to get cute because I've been doing a lot. So appreciate you all. Who else is in here? Give a shout if you in here. Shout, you know, like I'm trying to get back to this for real. You know, this is the most humble live stream you're going to see because I'm just here trying to talk about what's going on my heart. But regardless, I appreciate you all for showing through. And I'm gonna start pulling a couple cards. Now, mind you, right now I'm not doing the live stream card pulls. I'm just gonna be pulling specifically for just the signs, the rising signs specifically, in terms of everything. So yeah, cool. Let's get to it. All right. So specifically today, because one, I'm the target market, and the other side of it is because I'm a little bit petty. I ended up getting my cards. Shout out to Artman. Artman made some of the most beautiful cards. They are all black. A black creator, black cards, black everything, you feel me? Now, me talking Isha side, shout out to me being I think, could be wrong, the first black astrologer with an app out. I think. First black male astrologer with an app out. We'll check about it. We'll figure it out. At least in 2026, we're going to be coming out with that. I already have the subscription stuff ready for anyone who's on my newsletter. If you're on my newsletter and you have been subscribed for a bit, I'm going to be sending you the first thing just on the house so you can exist, live, check it out. I think for when the way I have it set up so far is when the official app launches, I think you get 3 charts that you can do anything with. Oh, I didn't even talk about it. I have a places feature. I have so much shit in this app. I can't even like forcibly think about it. Because it really is a lot of how I've taken the philosophy of astrology. So please just make sure that you stay ready for it. The app is called Asteria. It will be ready soon. And the subscriptions will be there soon. And if you have been subscribed for a while, that these are not new cards that I got made. Although that is a goal of mine. Shout out Shafi. Shout out Maisha. Remember I was talking about a long time ago. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah. And another level up. Yeah, that's what it's been like. That's for real what it's been. So thank you for being patient with me. Because I'm not used to I haven't taken any time off. I've just changed what was going on, but I'm so used to like kind of being able to bounce back fast enough. And this time I couldn't. But thank you all for like for real, just like sitting with me as I figure this part out, getting even this just set up and motivated. So much love. Thank y'all for real. All right, let me get we're going to get these cards going. Then I'm going to get something together for y'all as I put this app out. And once the app is out, I can just go live. All the stuff that I feel like I ever forget about, I already got written about it. Like, go check it out. We going to make it work. You feel me? So, so hype. Let's go. Okay. That was my actual hype. Let's go. This is for the collective. What do we collectively need to see for this solar eclipse in Leo today? So we have the King of Pentacles. Wow, what is my words? King of Pentacles. Life is exactly what you are able to grow. And whatever you're able to grow, has to come from a place that you feel, that you see, and that you know. And it's in that knowing of what's happening with you this solar eclipse that will unlock and activate the person that you've been trying to let your soul be on this planet in this carnation. So keep that in mind. Let's go through all the signs real quick. Let's get it. So, let's go. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Leave the like button. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep getting back to the YouTube stuff because... Also, for people who know creative people, if you know anyone spiritual, creative, model, actor, whatever, in LA, and you know them and they're cool, send them my way. I need to talk to some people. I need to figure some things out. Send them my way, just if you see. Or if you know. If it's you, why didn't you hit me? Y'all be acting wild, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm elusive. I know I'm a little quiet. Y'all can say what's up, though. We're going to be okay. All right, let's get to the Aries. Aries going to go first. So Aries, let's see what we got here. So for Aries, we have the star card, Aries, right? So for the star card specifically, one of the main things that I'm getting, especially with this eclipse happening in your 5th house, right, is that you can't be afraid to show up and be the thing that you were supposed to be. This is so ironic. I'm an Aries rising. But the reason why this is so important is because it's like, hey, yo, show up with what you've actually been doing, right? I think with Aries rising, there's a lot of diamond in the rough energy that really exists. Just being an Aries rising in general. And I think that one of the things that really comes through in terms of this eclipse specifically is that it's like anything that you've been having to like uphold that you don't believe in is going to just fall away. And whatever that is actually flowing through your heart is going to become a success. So I hope that you take a lot of what I said and then apply it to your own stuff here. I do think that that's a very similar information and feeling that's coming through that's impacting y'all in that process. So just wanted to point that out. Let me see real quick. I'm going to open up. Make sure y'all subscribe to my newsletter if you haven't. There was a time frame where I was like I was a very high ranked newsletter, and I was like, it made me feel weird, and I think my rank is lower now because I was like, how the F did I get to that point? But hey, regardless, you know. What I am looking at, there we go. So the next thing that I want to point out is going to be for Taurus, right? Taurus rising. This is happening in your 4th house. So let's see what's going on for y'all, Taurus. And mind you, if you don't know your rising, use the sun and moon. But Taurus rising specifically, what's going on with you this solar eclipse? 4th house. Taurus, I'm sorry to give y'all the tower, but there is a great awakening, a great change, a great shift, a great shift, a great shift. And the reason why I said that thrice is because like there's this very strong capacity for y'all to like stay in the burning thing, right? There's the age-old saying where it's like if you're the captain, you're supposed to go down with the ship. That's what you're trying to do, but the ship isn't worth not making it over. So get off the thing. Now you won't want to, and I'm looking at you dead in your face so you can understand that you probably should. Someone has to tell you. I'm gonna tell you. You should probably get out before the thing go down. Because if it all go down and ain't nobody else around, they just looking at you, and now it's all of a sudden your fault. Is it your fault, Taurus rising? I don't think so. So stay yourself at home. Get out of the other stuff. Don't deal with all that. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to Cosmic Belonging. Ben had beef with Co-Star. I don't have real beef. You know, I just put out a better app instead. That's the goal. And it's not even the same app. It's not even supposed to compete with either or any other astrology app. It's supposed to be its entirely own thing. But as soon as you utilize it and use it, you'll feel the difference. So, what up, cuz? How you living? All right, let's get it. So we're going to let's get to Gemini. I bet Gemini. For Gemini, we got the 6 of Swords. Now with the 6 of Swords specifically, right? One of the things that I really have to mention is that like, whenever I think of the 6 of Swords, it's like you're on a campaign of your own fruition and you don't even know where you're going, but you're set on the way to go. And what I mean by this is that it's like, Gemini, you have to pick a direction. And whatever direction that you choose, you're going to have to trust on both twins to get to. But it's one of those things that when you choose a direction and push forward a direction, that's when things actually open themselves up. Not before. after you decide to start moving towards it. So one of the things is that, like, don't get too caught up in the pre-process. Don't get too caught up in the, like, trying to make the first things happen. There's something very special happening for you that if you just keep marching to the beat of your own drum right now, Gemini, it's really going to pay off for you. Okay, so Cancer. For my Cancer risings, let's see what's going on with y'all. All right, so for Cancer, right, we have the Knight of Swords. It's finally time for you to really put your mind towards the thing. And what I mean by the thing, because I'm like, it's kind of like, when I say the thing, you don't even know what I'm saying. And I mean this respectfully, but the reason why I'm saying it this way is because it's like, there's a feeling that you're finally going to be able to tangibly make happen on the outside. It's like, oh, I always thought this could be like this, but now that we're getting to that point, what do you mean, really? Don't doubt the change that's going on, because there is an escaping of an old world that's happening for y'all, right? Even in terms of this Cancer rising is happening in your second house, word. And with this happening in your second house, this is getting to this point to where it's like, where do you want to make your money? You want to make your money someplace where people honor your ideas, right? Where do you want to spend your time? You want to spend time around people that can hear what you have to say and not argue with what you have to say, just the ability to talk, right? These are the kind of things that are starting to come through Cancer rising. And I think that, like, there's going to be a lot less turmoil when you're able to point where your thoughts are supposed to be. I'm going to leave it at that, because that's just the best way I can wrap it up for y'all. And I hope y'all feel what I'm saying with that. So appreciate y'all for listening and doing the water sign thing. That is not my thing, but I know y'all feel me. So good luck. All right, so let's get to it. Fearless courage is a fancy feel it. Yep. So let's get to Leo, right? Leo rising. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm congested. I ate before I hopped on here. I really don't like eating before being on camera. It's not fun. Don't recommend it, especially if you have a Virgo placement. But you need to eat regardless. It's one of those catch-22s, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, Leo rising. Let's get it. So for Leo rising, what we got the Page of Pentacles. Now with the Page of Pentacles specifically, Leo, there's like a Leo, you got into, I got you. Leo, being Leo rising specifically, y'all are getting the payoff for being humble. Good work, y'all. Good work. What I get by this is like you're like, oh, I would love to be this movie star actor, but I'll work as a person's janitor just so they know who I am. Whatever Leo rising you've been cooking, and I've been doing the slow paces of, you are about to get into a much better position due to your patience. So low-key, good work. This is also where your new moon is happening for you. But like, genuinely speaking, it's like whatever little internship type of vibe that you've been feeling, like, oh, I wish I could do this one day. This is actually going to start to like translate into something new. I'm sorry, looking at the comments. Shout out Cosmic Belonging. Hold on, I'm gonna type back to them. Sorry. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, I'm a goofball, I'm sorry. But what I am saying though, for real, getting back to Leo, just want to make sure that I hone in on this for y'all. Leo, this is literally like your eclipse. And so again, it's like your humility is being rewarded. So whatever you like, it's awesome. But when you get what you want, you don't change the function. That's the main thing I have to point. When you get what you want, don't change the function. Like, it's like one of the biggest and most awful things that sometimes can run into people, or people sometimes can even get from themselves, is that you could be in like a friendship with somebody, you can get into a romantic relationship, and suddenly they just change everything. And that's like, don't do that. They got with you and they like you because of all the other things. So stay on that type of time. You feel me? But hey, everybody different. It is what it is. What would I know about love coaching except for the love part that I also have in my app? I even made a love module so you can figure out why you're like that. and maybe even pull somebody from it too. Did it for y'all. All right, let's get it. All jokes aside, it wasn't joking, but all jokes aside, all funny parts of what I'm saying aside. Virgo. Let's get to Virgo. Speaking of, I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is a Virgo rising. I just watched it yesterday, or 2 days ago. 2 days ago was actually Spider-Man in the MCU's birthday. So I actually went to go see the new Spider-Man on Peter Parker's birthday because I care. And I also have his astrology chart. He's a Leo sun, Aries moon, and I'm pretty sure his Spider-Man is a Virgo rising. I digress. Virgo rising. Let's get it. How did I like? It was from a movie standard, it was a great movie. As a comic nerd, I could make quips, but I would prefer a better piece of art done and colored well and correctly than an exact part of a comic I could read again. That is my take on it. It's worth watching, especially if you don't know comics like that. It's worth seeing still. Bet. Let's get it. So Virgo rising. The reason why I was talking about this anyway is because the Spidey sense is like a nervous system overload, right? And even in terms of this, right, with Virgo rising, the Hierophant card is speaking here to where it's like your ability to hold the information is starting to be a lot more beneficial, especially in this world that we live in, where the people that got fired because of AI are getting rehired again because they realize that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? The new Ghost Rider is coming out. They have a new Ghost Rider. Ryan Gosling is going to be playing Ghost Rider. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. Anyway, but let's get to it. Let's do a couple more. But yeah, Virgo rising. I don't even remember pulling for y'all for real. Oh no, I said the Hierophant. Y'all get another one just because I've been yapping. Eight of Swords. Virgo rising. You know the information. This whole need to like prove it is doing you worse though. That's my last part for Virgo rising. Stop trying to prove what you know. Just be good at what you're doing. And then it's like kind of like non-communication. People are going to start to grab on. So, hope that helps. Okay. We gotta change some things. We getting there. It's the first start. All right, let's get it. Libra rising. Let me lock in. I'm gonna get these next ones done. Then I'm gonna go be a goofball and enjoy my. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. We dropped some shit. Hold up. No. Okay, cool. We're good. So drop some things. Libra rising specifically. We have the Eight of Cups, right? The Eight of Cups here, Libra, is like, yo, you gotta leave that thing alone. You gotta leave that person alone, that job alone, that alone. And if you, whatever you felt when I just did that, Libra rising, is what you're gonna have to done. Leave alone. You put in too much effort. You put in too much work. How else can someone be so exquisite? You put in all this work, and it's just not biting back for you. And the real thing is, walk away. Hold your head up high. Hold your head up strong. Okay, now but for real. I'm sorry, y'all. No, but for real. I fucking missed this. I just ruined my YouTube partnership thing for this video. I missed this, man. This was this is what I used to do this for. I don't know about all this other accolade shit. My resume is stacked though. Let's keep it as stacked. So if somebody want to play there, I got a cap stallion. We can do that. But what I am saying is, oh, I love this. All right, Libra, I love y'all. I really do. I do. Truly. Y'all talk. I've learned so much from Libra in the last. Just like I've learned so much. They're not as peaceful as you think, though. That I will say. Regardless, everything else is beautiful, harmonized. Everything else is going good. I'm wildin'. I'm on 1,000. All right, let's get it. So the next part, right? Let's get to. Let's get. I'm sorry. Because you just reminded me. You're like, yo, I know exactly what you meant. And in my head, I'm like, that's why they don't want me at no conventions. And I'm like, well, that's because I could say the N word on stage and get away with it. But that's probably why they don't want me at a convention. I'll say it on stage. What up? Oh God. Oh, okay. Getting back to the Scorpio. Got you. So back to Scorpio. Let's get it. Scorpio. Scorpio, you fighting for your life. I'm saying like you would like Scorpio, whatever fight that you play dirtier. And I'm saying this like sincerely, like I don't know when I pulled this card, Scorpio, I literally was like, oh, y'all scrapping. Y'all scrapping for real. That's not my scrapping thing. This is my like fake scrapping thing. I also will. My camera's right there. I can't start doing it. Regardless, what I'm saying is right is that like the Seven of Swords specifically is like having to, or Seven of Wands. Correction. I'm so sorry. It's having to fight for not just what you're passionate about, but it's like having to like reactively stand up for what you do. It's having to reactively stand up for what's going on. And sometimes like about to say just run facts. But I think it's like one of those things to where like for Scorpio, it's like you standing up for the fight specifically, you're gonna be really surprised by like how no one thought you was gonna stand on business. And that's the thing that's really going on. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just took it out the locks and stuff. It's gonna be wash day tomorrow and all that. But I have the curls, and so facetiously and selfishly on the solar eclipse in Leo, I was like, let me stun on the Leos for a second. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple tips from the Venusians. You know, not everyone think I'm a Leo. I'm a Sag. You feel me? Like I gotta. You know, we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah, got the stick knot. Yeah, so literally, Scorpio. Yeah, you're fighting for something right now that's going to like very much like change you, but in a really good way. So stand on business. Knock that out. Oh, you wore your lockdown? You wore your locks down today too? That's fire. Bet. I ain't no unk. Don't start this with me. I am a YNOG. Don't you play me. Am I an OG to the YNs? Perhaps, but I'm there. So, now you good. Also real, you good. I know that we laughing. There's no issue. We're good. Let me see. Cool. All right. Sag, Sun, Scorpio, Moon, and Rising. Pay attention to this next one for Sag too. In general, might help out. But for Sag Risings, all right, Sag Rising, what's going on with y'all? I got the Seven of Wands too for a second. Sometimes my hands be. Let's just double check on that. Let's get a refresh. Sag Rising. Let me lock in. All right, got you. Sag Rising. All right, you got the Ten of Swords. I ain't gonna lie, they got you. They got you. Whatever the world is putting you down for a hot second, and I'm not saying they got you like this is a permanent thing. I'm saying they got you as a for now thing. There's something out that I saw recently, and they're like, I don't want to spoil parts of the show for people who haven't seen it. Whatever. So basically, in a show, in a series that I like that has been going on and has several iterations in its own television universe, basically, yeah, chill. What I will anyway, but what I will say is that in the episode, one of the main characters who is usually good and gets away with everything finally gets their ish rocked. And the narration at the end of it was like, sometimes you gotta lose and then you come back stronger, you come back grittier, you come back hungrier. And at the end, they ended up getting their, as we would call, their lick back. And what this means is that although you might be down right now, Sag Rising, there is a literal ironically, this is what I looked at underneath, because I was like, what else is happening with that? So for Sag rising, what's happening underneath is that there's actually somebody coming through to help you. Perhaps even a significant other of some regard, or like a very genuine friend. But probably it looks like they want to smash though. Whenever I get the Two of Cups, somebody wants to get to the gat, as mentioned over there. Regardless, that is what's happening there. Does that count for your YouTube thing? I don't know. I feel like it doesn't. Like, there's no way, right? Anyway, that's fine. So, why am I like this? Okay, so getting forward, let's get to Capricorn rising. Dropping some stuff, Cap rising. Hold on. Okay, drop some stuff. What was at the top of this Cap rising though? Good for y'all. We got the World card. This is what really stuck out and pointed out to me. Look how beautiful these cards are, by the way. Just wanted to point out. Regardless, the whole concept of like the World card happening for you now, a Cap rising, whatever master plan that y'all have been hatching, whatever master plan that y'all have been making happen in the background. Gosh darn it, you did it. You might have been messing with Sag rising, honestly. Nah, but really though, yeah. Sorry. There was a question about the app, and I think they're a little bit further back in the recording right now. Like they're watching the live, but previously when I started before, and one thing that I got asked about, because a lot of people they lump the astrology app material into whole sign. I am a Placidus astrologer because there's details that are important. So I wrote this app in Placidus, specifically in mind. But I have whole sign as a house system. I even have other house systems that I don't typically use myself, but I know are important to other people that use it, just because I know that there's such a diverse need for like what people are looking for, especially if someone else picks up the app and wants to know where they're coming from. They're from India and they use those systems. They're still able, if I'm not mistaken, to use what I have already given. So that's something to point out for anyone who is worried about that. So hopefully that helps somebody out who wants to know in general. So, Cap rising, the World card. Nah, you really doing your thing. What I really am excited about for y'all Cap rising is that it's like, now that you've made it happen, what's the next move, or is there the next move? Or do you just like sit in what you've made for a second? These are just the kind of things I want to have you thinking and feeling about it so far. Regardless, that's for y'all Cap rising. Aquarius rising. Aquarius. Okay. Aquarius rising, you got the Moon card. I feel like chasing it when it fell to the ground. We got the Moon card, right? These are actually big. I have big hands. This is our big cards to use. I'm not going to lie. But what I'm saying in terms of this, right? The Moon card specifically. The Moon card for Aquarius rising. I think what's happening to Aquarius is because the North Node is in their sign. It's almost like the smarter thing to do than overthink is to overfeel. So I think the Moon card is trying to like instinctively teach your intuition to like download and feel through your feelings like it's a patch in the back of your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, like they again, I've been coding for the last couple months, but it's like just like the changes of like that one little thing and how much different it can go. But I really think Aquarius rising specifically, y'all should really get more in tune with that emotional part, because that's going to make a huge difference for you. Bet. And now for Pisces rising, last but not least, Pisces rising. Pisces rising, we have the Three of Pentacles. Now with the Three of Pentacles, right? Pisces, you're being invited to like sit at the table. right? How you bring nothing to the table when you are the table. And I think with the concept of, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, actually, let me point that out. The table being who's bringing value. You can get all the things in the world. Like imagine coming home. Now, granted, some of you've dealt with this, but colloquially, let's go with this. Imagine coming home with your whole bag of groceries and you ain't got no table to put it on. It's like, damn, you gotta like put it down. You know, it's a whole mess. What I'm saying though, in terms of like this for you Pisces, right? Is it like Pisces? I think that like you have done this for so long that at this point there's a genuine payoff. There's people who are seeing your ability to see the unseen, and they want to have in. Now, granted, when you are aiming to have in equity, because especially if you play, sort of God. Anyway, but for the equity part, right? Just because like you want to be able to like sit and get the credit to what's deserved. So let's say you got brought in. There's 3 people. One of them does some code stuff. One of them does the numbers. For you, you're going to be there as the art, but make sure that you're there as the pillar of that. You get what I'm saying? So for Pisces, you're about to join into something soon, but make sure that you're a pillar of whatever you are like tapping into, especially with this solar eclipse. And I have an extended rendition of this as well over on my newsletter, Under the Stars We Wander, which is my Substack. I would highly recommend that you check this out. But honestly, I mostly put that out because I wanted to just talk to y'all live today. This has been very, very beautiful and healing for the soul. And I realized I was just spending so much time getting everyone else's community such a boost that I forgot I had my own. And I'm sorry about that. I think, I think that there is this part of me, and to be just transparent, that I've always had a lot of like star power in terms of like being in person. But if you've never been able to meet yourself in person, how am I supposed to know what that's like? You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like I had shown up for so long that I forgot how much I needed y'all too. I think it's a very like back and forth relationship, because when I've been asked the question in the last, year to myself, like, who am I doing this for? I didn't think immediately of the people who I would go live for because it had to do with me, because it wasn't me working for a company or a corporation or a plethora or pantheon of people, so to speak, that are being exalted for being special, for knowing how to read stuff, right? I think there's really like this, y'all show up for me as myself. And I really, again, I think a lot of facts, I think a lot of figures, I do a lot of research, but I really think that I'm like, I forgot that like my value is also just showing up and spending time with people that I can't wait to meet myself or to interact with or do a reading for, or like however way I can help enrich their lives based off of this nerdy thing that drives me forward and that I always do in the back of my head, right? If any of that can help y'all, then dang, like, we doing it for real. And I know I've helped y'all. And I know I helped y'all. And y'all have helped me. And I really can't thank y'all enough. And I wanted to take this step for this new moon to not just come here to come back as an astrologer, but I want to remember the artists that I was set to be as well, right? I've been learning so much technical jargon behind cameras and video and this and that. And but then I realized after I learned all that I didn't have people to go share that with. I didn't have like people on call to just go do the shoot or try the idea. And I think that like I just want to like I've done everything else, honestly, it's just like, let's grass through this. Let's just start doing stuff. Let's just show up for it. And I've cleared up my time and my schedule to make sure I can show up for y'all in new ways that I haven't, and in some old ways to make them even better. So I need to stop playing with this squishy toy thing. Regardless, the concept of this, right? I appreciate y'all for showing up. Thank you for hearing my heart and hearing me out and letting me show and tell about my app that I will be definitely telling y'all more about. And we are going to take it up if y'all end up subscribing to the app for one of the memberships. Just know how much it'll mean to me. Again, this is just like it's a passion project. This was like a real, like, genuine passion project of trying to solve something and solving it for those who want to see change, you know? Anyway, thank y'all. I have nothing else to say. Much love to you all. Thank you. You know, Ancestor said you bi-coastal, digital and virtual streets needed you and your lushness. You're right. I forget it. You're right. I know. You're right. Thank you. I appreciate the love. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think, technology and I have always also had a relationship because, like, without the tech, I want to be able to reach the people that want to also know more of my heart and vice versa. So, like, there's going to be so many more takes on this. I'm sure I'll be on some podcasts or interviews soon or something. And then people will be like, hey, what you think? And I'm going to just tell them, because being myself is the easier part. But I didn't know how to be myself until I knew astrology, and now we're here. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, appreciate y'all. Y'all know I don't know how to end no live streams. That's probably never going to change, but that's just because I like y'all. That's saying a lot. Regardless, much love to you all. As a matter of fact, in 46 seconds on my camera, I've been recording this too, just to keep on the screen this entire time, and we're actually at 30 seconds left. So we did the thing. We showed up. We talked about the solar eclipse. Where do I leave y'all on the last, like, 20 seconds? Hold on. Your heart's been aching for what you already know. So what's the point of waiting when you know what you need to go for? Book a reading. Anyway, no, but for real, genuinely, much love. Okay. Yep, it's doing the thing. Bye.